Hey Merfolk fans, Joe here. Thanks very much for joining me. I'm here with a replay of a match against Soulfire Grandmaster Mardu. It's a rare but pretty sweet modern deck. Looking at the opening hand here, we see the opponent has a mountain, a plains, and a fetch land in marsh flats, and then some pretty sweet cards. We see Soulfire Grandmaster, sort of the namesake card of the deck. Very powerful 2-drop, 2/2 with lifelink. And it gives all your instant and sorcery spells lifelink. So lightning bolts become lightning helixes. Lightning helixes become double lightning helixes. You deal 3 damage and gain 6 life. It's just insane. And once you get a lot of mana online, you can pay 4 mana and then pay 1 more for a lightning bolt. And it says the next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, put that card into your hand instead of your graveyard. So you can just keep throwing that lightning bolt at something every single turn and gaining 3 life. So a very powerful mythic Soulfire Grandmaster, pretty sweet. And we see the opponent does have a Lightning Helix and a Lingering Souls. I guess Lingering Souls probably used as blockers to protect the Soulfire Grandmaster, since this guy's so central to the deck's plan. And Kalidas also has lifelink, so a lot of life gain going on over there. Looking at my opening hand, looks pretty sweet. 3 lands, 3 creatures, AEther Vial, probably easy keeps on both sides. So I won the die roll. I'm going to open with Island into AEther Vial. The opponent draws another Lightning Helix. That's pretty awesome. I don't really know what I'm playing yet, but only see the marsh flats. It's actually a pretty rare fetch land to see in Modern. But I do have AEther Vial up for Cursecatcher. Opponent gets a tapped Blood Crypt and draws another land. Not too bad. And we see now, okay, Mardu, Soulfire Grandmaster. I get the plan. I see what's going on here. So bring Cursecatcher in, put AEther Vial up to 2, and see what I draw for the turn. Harbinger. So I immediately know the game plan here. I play my Mutavault out. This guy the deck is probably running a ton of non-creature spells, just removal spells, to gain life with Soulfire Grandmaster and clear the board out. So I'm going to be looking to just push a lot of damage as quickly as possible. I know that they're not going to want to block with Soulfire Grandmaster, though he might potentially have another one in his hand, so I didn't want to quite risk the Island Walk Lord yet, because I have a Master of Waves and I'm going to want to have access to as much devotion as possible. I left Mutavault back just so I can potentially block. I'm sorry, Mutavault just came in, but he could have blocked Soulfire Grandmaster pretty well. Try to activate AEther Vial, but in response, the opponent's going to use one of these Lightning Helixes to deal with my Lord, I think. Okay, so the opponent's going to go up from 17 all the way to 23, which is just absurd. The Lord bites the dust. Harbinger of the Tides comes onto the battlefield. As I mentioned, the deck plays a lot of non-creature spells, so Harbinger of the Tides, I'm not going to want to just keep this guy in my hand all game. Better to have him on the battlefield actually swinging, doing some damage. I'm going to do the upkeep activation of AEther Vial to bring in Harbinger of the Tides and move AEther Vial up to 3, so that next turn I'll be able to move it to 4 and get Master of Waves out onto the battlefield. Well, that was a good draw. I get to play out my Lord of Atlantis and swing for a bunch of damage, see if the opponent wants to block anything or try a Lightning Bolt or something. So it's 5. Pretty much nobody knows how to do Merfolk math except Merfolk players. So this guy thinks he's taking 4, but he's going to go ahead and take 5 after taking 6. Okay. So the opponent has a lot of very nice spells. Let's see if he draws even more. Ugh, Kolaghan's Command. Gross. I don't expect to see that card playing against Mardu. I guess I should, and here it is. What is the plan here? He's going to kill my Lord and make me discard, and he has 1 mana to pay for it. Ugh. What a gross card this is. So powerful. Yeah, and there's a blowout. So, discard the Master of Waves, but I still got a bunch of bodies I can keep attacking. Spreading Seas, I'm going to start with here. It's going to draw me a card. I'm still looking for that Master of Waves, but I got a lot of other good cards I could draw also. Alright, there's a Mutavault. That's pretty solid. And I'm going to swing with these Harbingers for sure. I don't think he's going to block with this precious Soulfire Grandmaster. Alright, so the plan is just attack and attack and attack. The opponent has all these beautiful cards in his hand, and I've got none. Let's see what he can do with them. Is going to get in with the Soulfire Grandmaster here. I think I want to block this guy. So I will activate Mutavault, but before we go to blocks, looks like the opponent has some stuff he wants to do. He's going to Lightning Helix my Harbinger of the Tides. How strange. Gains another 6 life, going up to 22. I don't know what he was thinking there. Why didn't he hit the Mutavault? Very, very strange. I guess he knew he was going to trade, but this guy's so important to the deck. I guess Kalitas is like another win condition. Wanderwine Hub is a pretty terrible draw. Put that out there and swing for 5. Okay, opponent goes from 24 down to 19. Inquisition is a dead draw. Gonna play Lingering Souls here, and what else? Could flash back. Don't know why he doesn't flash it back looking at his hand. That's really strange. Misstep by the opponent, I think. Reejerey is solid. You play that guy out and get in with the Harbinger. That guy can't get killed by a double block, so he's just gonna take out one of the spirits. Keep pushing pressure. The opponent really should have flashed back that Lingering Souls. It's going to use his only black mana here to cast Terminate, getting rid of the Reejerey. Smart call, I say. And then it's going to cast the other Lingering Souls from his hand, but got Cursecatcher, so I can deal with that. Leaves the Spirit up as a blocker. I'm going to activate Mutavault here and crack in with both of my creatures. I'm going to chump Mutavault and take 2 more, and I'll follow up with another Harbinger. Alright, we see the opponent has drawn a land and is going to have to play Kalitas here. Very, very good card, but we see the opponent doesn't have any removal to go with it and make zombies. I've got Spreading Seas here, so this Lord is an excellent top deck. I get to play him out, activate Mutavault, and swing in for 9, taking the opponent all the way from 17 down to 8. He's hoping to draw some removal here. Let's see what he gets. Well, Liliana is removal, so very nice. Plays that out. I'm going to sacrifice one of my Harbingers, and Kalitas is going to make a zombie. Pretty good deal. He's going to swing in for the life gain with Kalitas. Can't really block that guy with my Lord. He's going to go up to 11. I'm going to be able to get rid of this Liliana. Drew a Merrow Reejerey here, which is very nice. I'm pretty sure at this point that the opponent is off of removal, since he hasn't really been playing it out in the last couple turns. Here is my Reejerey. I think I'm going to send the Harbinger with Island Walk at Liliana to get rid of her. And then send the Lord in as a 3/3 and see if the zombie wants to block. I could just get at the opponent for 7 damage. He is at 8. But yeah, maybe that would have been the better play there. At any rate, don't really like having Liliana on the board, and I've got a lot of pressure here, so looks like that's about it for the opponent here. He's going to probably swing in, get some life gain, go up to 11, that's fine. I don't think he quite knows how much power I have on the board here. It's 3, 3, 4 is 10, plus 4 more is 14. So he's going to sacrifice his zombie, putting 2 +1 counters onto Kalitas before damage. So I'm going to take 5. The opponent's going to gain extra life, but again, I'm swinging for 14 here, so GG. Alright, so again, it's 3, 3, 4, and 4, adding up to 14. And the opponent was at 13. So game 1, through all the life gain, I think the opponent gained like 20 life that turn. Sorry, not that turn, that game. Let's look at the opening hands here. Easy mulligan for me, no lands, but on the opponent's side, looks pretty sickening with 2 Anger of the Gods, Liliana, and Terminate. Currently, no second black for Liliana, no second red for Anger of the Gods, but the opponent's just 1 fetch land away from that being not a problem. So he's going to keep. I mulligan. This is solid. Kira is really interesting in this matchup since the opponent plays so much spot removal. We can see he brought in plenty of Anger of the Gods from the sideboard. Starts with the tap Shambling Vents. Sorry, singular Shambling Vent. I'll play out a Cursecatcher and pass the turn back. He draws Obsidat Ghost Council. Let's see what his turn 2 play is. He's going to terminate my Cursecatcher. I guess just to get the Angers online sooner than later. A little bit weird since he doesn't have the second red anyway. I don't know, whatever. So, Obsidat. A very good reason to play Orzhov, I guess, in Modern. It's a pretty powerful card. When he enters the battlefield, it drains life for 2, and at your end step, you can exile this guy. If you do, he comes back at the beginning of the upkeep, at the beginning of the player's next upkeep, and it gains haste. So it can attack for 5, and it keeps draining for 2. Very powerful card. Let's see how it goes in this game. So I draw a Reejerey. I'm going to reveal Silvergill, reveal Reejerey, play that guy, and draw Lord of Atlantis. Pretty solid. If opponent drew that fetch land I was talking about needing, can crack that and get a a Blood Crypt, and have double red and double black. So there we have it. It's going to tap 3 and play Liliana, getting rid of my only creature. And without Mutavault on the board, I'm not going to be able to get rid of her this turn. Going to take this opportunity to put Kira onto the battlefield and hopefully get rid of Liliana sooner rather than later. Opponent draws a fast land, which is just a slow land right now. Plays that tapped since he has nothing else to do right now. And I guess he likes all the cards in his hand. He needs this 5th land to play Obsidat, and he doesn't want to get rid of any of these Anger of the Gods. So he's just going to pass the turn to me. I drew a Mutavault, which is great because I can play Master of Waves. I'm going to attack Lily, get her off the board, and then have to think carefully here. I don't want to overextend into something like a Damnation or an Anger of the Gods. So I'm going to play Silvergill Adept here and cycle it. Just, you know, get an extra card in my hand, get an extra body on the board, see what the opponent wants to do. So drew another land, taps 5 and plays Obsidat. Alright, so drains 2, and he leaves the battlefield now. I sort of see what the opponent is getting at here, but Obsidat is a good card to play alongside Sweepers, or is it not? I guess it's good to play with Anger of the Gods and not Damnation, so that gives me extra reason to be afraid of Anger of the Gods. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to get my creatures up to 4/4 this turn, or even close to it for that matter. So, again, conserving the cards in my hand, I'll commit a lot of power to the board with 1 card. Master of Waves brings 4 elementals. Going to swing for 4 here. The opponent will go from 19 down to 15, and I'll pass. Master of Waves, just to demonstrate quickly, can swing a game so quickly. The opponent was at 19 life, and I only had these 2 creatures, these two power creatures on the board. Play a Master of Waves, and suddenly next turn I'm swinging for 6 plus 8 is 14 plus 3 is 17. So it goes from, you know, whatever, a 5-turn clock to a 2-turn clock. Master of Waves is pretty awesome. But we see the opponent has double Anger of the Gods, and I'm getting drained every single turn for 2 now. Opponent draws a Lightning Bolt. It's a good card. And we're going to see Anger of the Gods here, I do believe. Well, there it is. Obsidat lives, but he is has 3 damage marked now. I guess he doesn't want to attack, because then I can block. Get rid of that guy. The opponent sees the value in continuing to drain every turn. So I draw an island, which is good because my hand is getting a little bit jammed up. Now, I think I made a misstep here. I'm starting to... Let's see. I can just play a Lord, attack with Mutavault, just push some damage. But I think the play should have been... Let's see. Play Reejerey, play an Island Walk Lord, untap a land with Reejerey to leave Dispel up. But as it was, I just play the Reejerey, activate Mutavault, and just try to swing for as much damage as I can. But the opponent did draw a Lightning Bolt. He's going to take me off this Reejerey and only take 4 damage this turn, which isn't really that much since he's gaining 2 life every turn from the Obsidat. Sorry, this is 5 damage. Alright, so Obsidat comes back. The opponent draws a Liliana of the Veil. Very strong draws. So Liliana will come out. I'll have to sacrifice my Master of Waves. Opponent swings for 5. Go all the way back down to 9. And things are looking pretty grim here on my side of the table. I'll play a Lord of Atlantis and swing with the Mutavault just to take Lily off the board. It's possible I should be going at the opponent's life total since Obsidat is just wrecking me. Also possible that I should have played out my second Lord because I don't think I had any chance otherwise. But look, we see the opponent did in fact bring in Damnation as well as Anger of the Gods. So pretty powerful sideboard hate. Opponent's coming now with 5 and 2 for 7. I don't really feel like jump blocking, so I just scoop it up at this point. So good game. Let's go to game 3. A pretty interesting match so far. Looking at the opening hands. Mine is excellent. I've got AEther Vial. Spreading Seas is spectacular in this matchup. Harbinger not that amazing, but obviously Merrow Reejerey and Master of Waves always fantastic. On the opponent's side, we see 3 lands for all of their colors. And Zealous Persecution, very strong against Master of Waves, Cursecatcher, and Silvergill Adept. Terminate, Path to Exile, Kolaghan's Command. Jesus, this is pretty amazing hand on the opponent's side. So I'll open with Wanderwine Hub revealing Harbinger to cast AEther Vial. All right, opponent draws a 4th land. That's not too bad, given the fact that his hand is already pretty bonkers. Plays a tap Shambling Vents, which is an awesome target for Spreading Seas. It's a man land and takes him off both black and white here. Reveal Harbinger of the Tides to play my second Wanderwine Hub, revealing the same creature, getting double value here. Draw a card off of Spreading Seas, and it's an Echoing Truth. I left this in the deck because we saw the Lingering Souls in game 1. It's possible the opponent took the Lingering Souls out because they're weak to Island Walk. Looks like the opponent might have drawn another land and plays another tapped Shambling Vents. For my turn, I draw a Dispel. So I want to establish a clock here. I know that the opponent has Anger of the Gods, doesn't have any red mana right now, probably plays Damnation, so rather than leave Dispel up, not use any of my mana, pass the turn, let the opponent untap, do whatever he wants, and pass back to me. I don't think he's going to play any instants on his main phase if I have mana up. So I think the correct play here is just to commit one of the Harbingers to the board. But we see the opponent has plenty of red mana. He's only drawn lands so far this game. And here is a first big blowout, I think, of the match. Yeah, the opponent landed a couple of Anger of the Gods last game, or maybe just one, I can't remember. But this is bigger. He's taking out my AEther Vial when I'm only on 2 lands, and he's gonna kill my creature. Didn't quite think through that possibility. I'm usually really good about playing around Kolaghan's Command when I have the possibility, whether through Cursecatcher or through Dispel on turn 3, but just didn't see this one coming this turn. So I'm going to pay the price. I'll use the AEther Vial to get the other Harbinger onto the board, get some damage going. An Island was a very good draw. My hand was a little bit clunky. I'll throw the Reejerey out there and swing with the Harbinger. We can see the opponent has tons of removal. The Zealous Persecution is not very useful right now. I don't have any 1/1 creatures currently. The opponent will take 3 from the Harbinger, going from 20 to 17. And continues drawing lands. Pretty wild. Actually, I think he's only drawn lands so far this game. So even though the hand started off insane, it's just become pretty average at this point, since he's drawn so many lands. We're going to see Terminate here. Very smart doing it on the main phase, not letting me untap. As a blue deck, I could very easily have brought in a bunch of counter spells. So very good play by the opponent. Don't hit that 4th land. Can't play Master of Waves yet, so I'll just attack with the Harbinger. Opponent goes down to 15. And at this point, I guess I'll just put the Cursecatcher out. We're going to see a Path to Exile here on Harbinger. Seems pretty poor in my view. I've got tons of Lords and Master of Waves in my deck. Opponent probably should have kept Path to Exile in his hand. As it stands, he gave me my 4th land, which is going to let me actually get Master of Waves onto the battlefield. We see the opponent finally drew a non-land in Soulfire Grandmaster. Excellent card, but it's a little late to the game. Let's see how it goes. Just for the tempo of it here, I have the mana up. I have Echoing Truth. I think I'm just going to use this to bounce this guy. Make the opponent commit the mana again. If he has these lands up to cast damage-based removal right now, I'd force him to use it on his end step so that I wouldn't have to be afraid of anything on my own turn. Opponent takes 1. I have 4 lands here and an extra to play now, so I can play Master of Waves and have Dispel up. It feels pretty good. So the opponent has Zealous Persecution, which is a one-sided board wipe right now. Seems like a good idea to go for it since he has mana to pay for Cursecatcher, but I have the blowout in the hand in Dispel. So he thinks he's got the best card possible, but I also have the best card possible. Alright, so I get to keep my board, but the opponent draws Anger of the Gods. Okay, so this, I think, is a turn where we get to see one of the big sort of fireworks displays that this deck is capable of. Anger of the Gods with lifelink. Let's think about that for a second. If he kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures with 3 damage to each of them, he's going to gain 15 life, I think. Going from 13 up to, sorry, it's 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 15. He'll go all the way up from 13 to 28, I think. Actually, no, I'll sacrifice the Cursecatcher, so it'll be a little bit less. Okay, so there it is. Cursecatcher gets sacrificed, make the opponent pay. And then he's going to go from 13 to 25. I still got a Master Waves on the board. Opponent has a land in his hand, so, you know, pretty even Steven here. He's got a little bit more life than me, but there's a Mutavault. He gets buffed by Master Waves. Opponent goes down to 23. Draws a Bolt. Not so good against Master Waves, but pretty good against Mutavault. Puts that land out. He's going to activate Shambling Vent here and get in for 2, gaining 2 life. All right, another Master Waves. Now we're talking. So play that guy, get 3 tokens, including the Spreading Seas. Activate Mutavault and swing. He's a 4/4 now. Opponent thinks I only get 2 tokens, but in fact, I get 3. He's going to take 6 here. Mutavault's getting quite big. Actually, let's pause for a second here. That was pretty insane because playing Master of Waves before activating Mutavault made Mutavault a 4/4. Rendering the Lightning Bolt pretty useless. So that was a pretty awesome draw there with Master of Waves. Otherwise, if I didn't draw this guy, Mutavault probably would have gotten blown out by Lightning Bolt. And let's see. Opponent drew and played another Shambling Vent. He's going to continue gaining some life. But with these Elementals and a 4/4 Mutavault, I keep drawing Merfolk. Feeling pretty good about this. Alright, so we're going to see a Shambling Vent activation. It's going to Lightning Bolt one of the Elementals, I think. Block another and trade. Gaining 3, but taking 7. Sorry, gaining 2, but taking 7. Play Cursecatcher, pass the turn. Draws a Blood Crypt, that's pretty terrible. And this is pretty close, huh? It's 4, 7, 8, plus 4 is 12. And I have a second Mutavault. But he's got the Shambling Vent to block. So he's going to activate it. He's going to do the same exact thing, block the Elemental, gain 2 life, but then take 4 from Mutavault, netting -2. Opponent at 12, and I do have lethal on board at this point, especially with the extra Mutavault, but the opponent drew a Lightning Helix. Might be able to delay the inevitable a little bit. So let's see here. I drew another Master of Waves. That might be enough to make this guy scoop. Actually, as it stands, these guys are immune to Master of Waves. Immune to Lightning Helix, and Mutavaults are out of its range as 4/4s. So if I activate them, it's going to be 4 plus 4, 2 plus 2. That's so 4, 4, 4. It's 12, 13. The opponent can go up to 15. They get to live another turn, potentially draw a Damnation, but then I'm coming in for Mutavault with Mutavaults for lethal. So at this point, I think I'm going to play a Master Waves, and I think the opponent just scooped it up. Yeah. And I don't know, just rage quit. Didn't say good game, didn't talk at all about the matchup, just rage quit. That's Cockatrice for you. So yeah, a pretty rare deck, Soulfire Grandmaster Mardu. Let me know if you guys have seen the deck before, if you've played against it. Let me know your thoughts about the matchup, about what your experience is, whether you have any sideboarding suggestions against them. Counter Magic, especially Dispel, seems pretty good. Yeah, so leave comments, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys next time.